Hello?
That's what we learned in our class today. What's that? Well, you know how I'm taking Intro to Africana Studies, right? Today we learned about some guy named Nathan Hare. Well, he's not just some guy. You know who that is?
Never heard of him.
Well, he got his PhD from Chicago, University of Chicago.
That was one of my top schools.
Great choice, great choice. This man got a PhD in sociology, and he originally taught at Howard University, like HBCU. But he got fired.
Right.
Because he wanted to push the black movement and like teach more about black perspective while they're teaching these kids about Eurocentric worldview. And then he kept like trying to push more and more, and then eventually they fired him.
Wait, so Howard fired him because he was trying to push education about African studies?
Yeah, basically, because it wasn't based on their perspective, so he was trying to like reel it in, and eventually they got tired of him and fired him. That's how I took it, you know. And luckily he didn't go jobless after that, because Jimmy Garrett, which was a student in San Francisco State College, he called him up because they met at a conference, the ASA conference, American Sociological Association conference, and together they were talking about the black perspective and about black movements and stuff like that, and eventually they figured that education was a big part of this movement. So he called in, Jimmy Garrett called in Nathan Hare to San Francisco State College, which is, by the way, one of the only schools in the United States. They were the first to develop the black curriculum because of Nathan Hare. Yeah, so eventually, the better movement, which is why we have one now in Seton Hall. But because of Nathan Hare, now we have this black curriculum, and in one of his articles about questions and answers about black studies, Nathan Hare mentions the importance of black education as a black community center, meaning that there has to be a relationship between the education and the community, because not everyone gets to go to school, not everyone gets to be educated, not everyone's interested in all that stuff. So he feels that education is what needs to bridge that gap.
Hello? 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 movement grew. In April 1967, a student Black Power group invited Muhammad Ali to speak at Howard.
See, we have been brainwashed. Everything good in the authority was made white. We look at Jesus, we see a white with blonde hair and blue eyes. We look at all the angels, we see white with blonde hair and blue eyes. Now, I'm sure if there's a heaven in the sky and the color folks die and go to heaven, and where are the colored angels? They must be in the kitchen preparing the milk and honey. We look at Miss America, we see white. We look at Miss World, we see white. We look at Miss Universe, we see white. Even Tarzan, the king of the jungle in Back Africa, he's white.
The problems of race in the cities. These are issues facing the citizens of the United States, and they are issues vividly facing the students on an urban campus. This is San Francisco State College, one of 18 in the California State College system. It's been a part of the vast educational complex of the state since 1899, but its phenomenal growth has come in the past 10 years, from 12,000 students to 18,000 in that time. One significant fact in those years, the percentage of black students has dropped from 11% to less than 3%. The overcrowding, the race conflict, the fear of the draft, and the war in Vietnam have brought the students to an active search for solutions.
Dr. Hayakawa, in depending on police force, is relying on a version of law and order which must, of necessity, perpetuate the racism which black students are opposing. Although we recognize that Dr. Hayakawa has had some contact with the black community, and we really should have said with the colored people or the Negroes, we must insist that he is not qualified to speak for us or to otherwise represent black aspirations to white people. Black people can and do speak for them. We see no value in having a person of color acting as a college president who is not responsive to the needs of black people, as black people see them, rather than as he imagines them to be.
Okay. Oh. Oh. Uh,